My name is Jessica. I am a student. I live in London, which is a very lively and exciting city. London is full of life. There are many people, places, and cultures. I love being here because I can learn so much. Today, I want to share something special with you. I want to tell you about my journey. This is not just any journey. It is my journey from silence to speech. When I say silence, I mean a time when I did not speak English well. I felt quiet and shy. Sometimes I was afraid to talk to people. I wanted to say things, but I could not find the words. Do you know that feeling? Maybe you have felt it too. Now I can speak English better. I can join conversations, make friends, and share my thoughts. This change did not happen overnight. It took time and effort. But I want you to know that it is possible. I believe my story can inspire you. I want to show you that with hard work, you can go from feeling quiet to feeling confident. Learning a new language can be a wonderful adventure. It can open doors to new opportunities. In this video, I will talk about my experiences. I will share my challenges and my successes. You will hear about the moments that made me feel proud and the times when I felt afraid. I hope my journey can help you on your own path to learning English. If you feel nervous or shy, remember that you are not alone. Many people feel this way. But together, we can overcome our fears. So, let's begin this journey together. I am excited to share my story with you. Are you ready? Let's go. Moving to London was a big change for me. It was exciting, but it was also scary. I remember arriving in the city and feeling a rush of emotions. London is a huge city with many people. There are bright lights, tall buildings, and lots of sounds. It can be overwhelming. At first, I felt like a fish out of water. Have you ever felt this way? It means you feel uncomfortable and out of place. I was in a new city where everyone spoke English. I wanted to communicate, but I wasn't sure how. I felt lost. For example, one of my first experiences was trying to order a coffee. I walked into a cafe and my heart was racing. The menu was full of words I didn't understand. There were different types of coffee, sizes, and flavors. I wanted to order a simple coffee, but I was nervous. When it was my turn, I stood there, staring at the menu. I felt like I was playing a game of charades. You know, when you try to act out a word or a phrase without speaking, it was like everyone was guessing what I wanted, and I was the one who kept losing. I finally managed to say coffee, but I was unsure if I said it right. The barista looked at me, and I felt my face turn red. This experience was difficult, but it was also a lesson. I realized that everyone has to start somewhere. That initial silence was my first step in learning. I learned that it's okay to be quiet at first. It's normal to feel shy or unsure. Silence can be powerful. It gives you time to think, observe, and prepare. In the silence, I could watch and listen to others. I saw how people spoke, how they used their hands, and how they expressed their feelings. I began to appreciate the beauty of language. Every word carries meaning. Every word is like a tool. When we use words, we can create connections with others. As I listened to conversations around me, I noticed how people laughed and shared stories. I saw the joy on their faces when they talked. I wanted to feel that joy too. Each conversation I heard was an opportunity to learn, I learned to observe how people interacted. I watched their body language and their expressions. I understood that communication is not just about words. It is also about feelings and connections. I noticed that when someone spoke, others listened. They responded with smiles, nods, or laughter. This made me realize that language is not just about talking. It's about sharing experiences and feelings. With time, I began to feel more comfortable. I started to gather the courage to speak. My first attempts were small. I would say simple things like hello or thank you. Each time I spoke, I felt a little bit more confident. I also learned to celebrate small victories. Every time I ordered food or spoke to someone, it was a win for me. It didn't matter how small it was. What mattered was that I was trying. My journey was not easy. There were times I felt frustrated. There were moments when I made mistakes, and I felt embarrassed. But each mistake was a chance to learn. Each moment of silence was a chance to grow. Over time, I started to find my voice. I became excited about learning. I realized that I could express myself and connect with others. The more I practiced, the more I began to enjoy it. As I continued to observe and practice, I found beauty in the English language. I loved how words could create images in my mind. I loved how they could tell stories. Every new word I learned felt like a small treasure. I collected these words like building blocks. With each block, I was building my ability to communicate. I was building my confidence. This journey from silence to speech is a process. It takes time, patience, and practice. But remember, every small step counts. Every word you learn is a step forward. So, if you find yourself in a similar situation, don't be afraid. Embrace the silence. Use it to observe, to think, and to prepare. Each moment of quiet can lead to a moment of connection. You are not alone in this journey. Many people have felt the same way. Together, we can learn, grow, and celebrate our progress. Language is a beautiful thing, and it can connect us all. Let's continue on this journey together. Once I embraced my silence, the next step was building my foundation. This was an important moment for me. I realized that to speak English well, I needed to start with something strong. Just like building a house, I needed a solid foundation. The foundation for learning a language is vocabulary. Vocabulary means the words we use every day. At first, I focused on basic words and phrases. These are the building blocks of language. Think of it like laying bricks for a house. You can't build a strong house without good bricks. Similarly, you can't communicate well without words. I remember the first few words I learned. Simple words like hello, please, and thank you. These words are small, but they are very important. They help you start conversations and show kindness to others. Have you ever counted how many words you need to communicate effectively? You might be surprised. Studies show that you can have a basic conversation with just a few hundred words. When I learned this, it made me feel better. It felt achievable. To build my vocabulary, I dedicated time every day to practice. I set aside a little time in the morning and evening. This routine helped me stay consistent. It became a part of my day. I used different tools to help me learn. Apps on my phone were very helpful. There are many language learning apps available that make learning fun. They have games, quizzes, and exercises that keep you engaged. I enjoyed using these apps because they made learning feel like playing. Another great tool was flashcards. I made my own flashcards with words on one side and pictures on the other. For example, I would write the word apple on one side and draw a picture of an apple on the other side. This helped me remember the words better. Using flashcards was like having a mini quiz with myself. I would test my memory and see how many words I could remember. Each time I got a word right, I felt a little thrill. It was a small victory that boosted my confidence. I also talked to myself in the mirror. This might sound funny, but it helped me practice speaking. I would look at myself and say the words and phrases I was learning. I would practice my pronunciation and how to express different emotions. Talking to myself helped me feel more comfortable using the language. As I learned new words, each one felt like a mini victory. I celebrated every little success. When I learned a new word, I would write it down in my notebook. I kept track of all the words I had learned. This helped me see how much I was improving. Every time I wrote a new word, I felt motivated to keep going. It was like collecting treasures. Each word was a small piece of my language journey. I also started to use the words I learned in my daily life. I would try to use them when I spoke with others. For example, if I learned the word friend, I would practice saying, "This is my friend." Using new words helped me remember them better. At times, I would make mistakes. Maybe I would use a word incorrectly or forget how to say something. But instead of feeling bad, I saw these moments as opportunities to learn. Mistakes are a part of the process. They help us grow. With each word I learned, I could feel my confidence growing. I started to join conversations more often. I felt less nervous about speaking. I knew that even if I made mistakes, I was still learning. Building my vocabulary was like planting seeds. With time, those seeds began to grow. As I learned more words, I started to understand sentences and phrases better. I also discovered that context is important. Sometimes, the same word can mean different things depending on how it is used. For example, the word light can mean something that is not heavy, or it can mean something that makes things bright. Understanding context helped me become a better communicator. As I practiced daily, I noticed changes in myself. I was no longer afraid to ask questions or express my thoughts. I felt more connected to others. Conversations became enjoyable instead of scary. Building my vocabulary was a journey that required patience. Some days were harder than others, but I kept reminding myself of my goals. I wanted to communicate, connect, and share my thoughts with others. Every small step I took in learning words added up. It was like climbing a mountain. Each step might seem small, but together they take you higher and higher. Eventually, I could use simple sentences. I could say things like, "I like coffee," or "I enjoy reading." These sentences opened new doors for me. I could express my likes and dislikes. I could share my opinions. I also learned that vocabulary is not just about words, it's also about phrases. Phrases are groups of words that go together. For example, "How are you?" is a common phrase. Learning phrases helped me sound more natural when I spoke. To keep expanding my vocabulary, I tried to read every day. I would read simple books or articles. Reading introduced me to new words and phrases. It helped me see how they are used in context. Sometimes I would come across a word I didn't know. When this happened, I would stop and look it up. I would write it down in my notebook along with its meaning. This made me curious and excited to learn more. Music was another great tool. I listened to English songs and tried to understand the lyrics. Singing along helped me practice pronunciation and rhythm. It made learning enjoyable. As I continued to build my vocabulary, I began to feel a sense of pride. I was no longer the quiet person who felt lost. I was becoming someone who could communicate and connect with others. Each word I learned brought me closer to my goal. I was transforming from silence to speech, and it felt amazing. So, if you are on a similar journey, remember that building vocabulary is a key part of learning a language. Start with the basics, use different tools, and practice every day. Celebrate your victories, no matter how small they seem. Every word you learn is a step forward. With time and effort, you will build a strong foundation. And just like me, you will find your voice. This was an exciting step in my journey. I had learned many words, and now I wanted to use them to make sentences. Creating sentences is like building a house. The words are the bricks, and sentences are the walls. At first, making sentences felt a bit tricky. I remember sitting down with my notebook. I would try to put words together. For example, I would take the word I, add like, and then coffee. So I could say, I like coffee. This simple sentence was a big victory for me. It meant I could express something I enjoy. Making sentences made me feel more confident. I was no longer just learning words. I was starting to communicate. Once I started making sentences, everything changed. I felt like I could share my thoughts and feelings. It was like magic. I wanted to learn more, so I looked for opportunities to practice. One of the best things I did was join language exchange groups. These groups were a game changer for me. In these groups, people come together to practice languages. Some people want to learn English, and others want to learn different languages. When I joined a language exchange group, I felt nervous at first. I walked into the room and saw many people talking and laughing, but I knew this was a good chance to practice. During our meetings, we would sit in pairs or small groups. We would take turns speaking in English and in our native languages. This helped everyone practice. I started by introducing myself. I said, "Hello, my name is Jessica. I am learning English." At first, I only spoke simple sentences. But with each meeting, I felt more comfortable. I began to use more words and form longer sentences. I was amazed at how much I could express. One day, during a language exchange, we began discussing our feelings. This felt new and a bit scary. Talking about feelings is personal, but I knew it was a good opportunity to practice. I started by saying, "I feel happy today." Everyone nodded and smiled. Then, someone else said, "I feel sad." I realized that sharing feelings helps us connect with each other. It was nice to hear what others were feeling too. But sometimes, funny things happened. I remember one time when I mixed up my words. I wanted to say, "I'm sad," but instead I said, "I'm mad." Everyone laughed. It was hilarious. In that moment, I learned that mistakes are okay. They can be funny, and they help us learn. The group was supportive. We all made mistakes, and we laughed together. This made me feel more comfortable speaking English. As I continued to practice, I noticed something important. Engaging in conversations helped me learn the rhythm of English. Rhythm is how we stress certain words. and how we flow from one word to another. When I spoke with others, I heard how they expressed themselves. I listened to the way they connected their ideas. For example, when someone told a story, they would use different tones and pauses. This made the conversation interesting. I began to understand that communication is more than just words. It's about how we say things too. I tried to mimic the way others spoke. This helped me sound more natural when I talked. Through these conversations, I also learned about context. Context is the situation in which words are used. For example, if someone says, "It's cold," it could mean they are talking about the weather, but it could also mean they are feeling lonely. I learned to pay attention to the context of conversations. This helped me understand better what people meant. I could respond more appropriately based on the situation. With each conversation, I felt more free to express my ideas and emotions. I began to share my thoughts on different topics. Sometimes we talked about travel, food, and hobbies. Other times, we discussed our dreams and goals. Each time I spoke, I discovered the beauty of language. Words can create pictures in our minds. They can evoke feelings and emotions. When I expressed my ideas, I felt a sense of joy. For example, I remember one conversation about travel. I shared my dream of visiting the beach. I said, "I want to go to the beach and see the ocean." As I spoke, I could see the excitement in my friends' faces. They shared their travel dreams too. These moments were special. We connected through our words. I learned that expressing ideas and emotions is a powerful way to communicate. As I practiced more, I began to feel like a part of the group. I was no longer just watching others speak. I was joining in. This was exhilarating. I remember the first time I contributed to a discussion. I felt nervous, but I raised my hand and shared my opinion. When I finished speaking, I felt a rush of happiness. I had taken part in the conversation. Being an active participant made me feel confident. I realized that my voice mattered, my ideas were valuable, and I could contribute to discussions just like everyone else. As time passed, I grew even more comfortable. I started to lead conversations, asking questions and sharing my thoughts. This was a big change for me. I was no longer afraid of speaking. The language exchange group became a safe space for me. We supported each other and celebrated our progress. Each meeting was an opportunity to learn and grow together. With each discussion, I saw that learning a language is a journey. There are ups and downs, but every step is important. I was developing my speaking skills, gaining confidence, and making friends along the way. Sometimes, I would leave a meeting feeling a little discouraged. Maybe I didn't express myself as well as I wanted. But the next time, I would try again. I learned that persistence is key. Every time I spoke, I improved. Every conversation was a chance to practice. With each discussion, I was becoming a better speaker. Look for opportunities to practice. Join groups or find friends who speak the language. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Laugh at them, learn from them, and keep going. Engaging in conversations will help you learn context and rhythm. You will discover the beauty of expressing ideas and emotions. You will feel exhilarated to be an active participant. Your journey may be challenging, but it will also be rewarding. Each conversation brings you closer to your goal. You can do it. With growing confidence, I decided to tackle public speaking. This was a big step for me. Public speaking is when you talk in front of many people. It can be scary, right? But I knew I had to try. I had learned so much, and I wanted to share my ideas. When I thought about public speaking, I felt nervous. My heart would race, and my palms would sweat. But then I reminded myself that every great speaker was once a beginner. Everyone starts somewhere. Even famous speakers like Barack Obama or Malala Yousafzai were nervous when they first started speaking. Imagine standing in front of a room full of people. They are all looking at you, waiting to hear what you have to say. It sounds intimidating, doesn't it? But what if I told you it could be fun? Yes, public speaking can actually be enjoyable. It's a chance to express yourself and share your thoughts. When you speak, you have the power to inspire others and connect with them. To face my fear, I decided to take action. I looked for local speaking events. I found out about a group called Toastmasters. Toastmasters is a club that helps people improve their speaking skills. It is a supportive environment where everyone wants to learn and grow. At my first Toastmasters meeting, I felt nervous. I walked into the room and saw many faces. Some people were smiling, while others looked serious. But everyone was friendly. They welcomed me with open arms. During the meeting, members took turns speaking. Some shared stories, while others gave presentations. I listened carefully and took notes. I wanted to learn from them. After a while, it was my turn to speak. I stood up, and my heart raced again. When I began speaking, I felt a wave of fear wash over me. But I took a deep breath and focused on my message. I spoke slowly and clearly. I shared a story about my journey learning English. As I spoke, I noticed the audience listening intently. In that moment, I realized something important. Public speaking is not just about talking. It's about connecting with people. When you share a story or idea, you invite others into your world. You let them see your experiences and feelings. Connecting with others is magical. It creates a bond. When I finished speaking, I received applause. I felt proud of myself. I had taken a big step and faced my fear. After my first experience, I wanted to speak more. Each time I spoke, I felt more confident. I started to enjoy it. I realized that everyone in the room had their own stories too. They had experiences and feelings that mattered. When I shared my stories, others would often share theirs in return. This created a wonderful exchange. We laughed, cried, and supported each other. I felt like I was part of a community. In Toastmasters, I learned different techniques for effective speaking. I practiced using gestures, maintaining eye contact, and varying my voice. These skills helped me engage my audience better. Before each speaking event, I would prepare. I would write down my ideas and practice my speech. I looked in the mirror and practiced speaking out loud. This helped me feel more comfortable when it was time to present. Preparation made a big difference. The more I practiced, the easier it became to speak in front of people. I learned to visualize myself speaking successfully. I imagined the audience smiling and nodding as I spoke. As I continued my public speaking journey, I faced my fears head-on. Each time I spoke, I grew a little more. I learned to embrace my nerves. Instead of seeing them as a weakness, I started to view them as excitement. I began to understand that everyone gets nervous. Even experienced speakers can feel anxious. It's a natural part of the process. The key is to keep going despite those feelings. With my newfound confidence, I decided to share my story with others outside of Toastmasters. I wanted to inspire people who were also learning English. I spoke at community events and local schools. When I shared my experiences, I saw the impact it had on others. They related to my struggles and victories. It felt wonderful to encourage them. I wanted them to know that they could overcome their fears too. As I became more confident in my speaking skills, new opportunities arose. I was invited to speak at various events. I spoke about language learning, the importance of perseverance, and embracing challenges. Each time I took the stage, I felt grateful. Public speaking opened new doors for me. I met new people and built connections I never imagined. In Toastmasters, we also practiced giving and receiving feedback. After each speech, members would offer constructive feedback. At first, I was nervous about receiving feedback, but I quickly learned that it was a gift. Feedback helped me improve my skills. It taught me what I did well and what I could work on. I learned to listen with an open mind. I appreciated the support of my fellow members. With every speech and every piece of feedback, I grew. I started to enjoy the journey of self-improvement. I embraced challenges and set goals for myself. I remember one goal was to speak for longer periods. I wanted to develop my ability to give longer presentations. I practiced and worked hard, and eventually, I achieved that goal. Through my public speaking experiences, I met amazing people. I connected with others who shared my passion for communication. We supported each other and celebrated each other's successes. These connections were invaluable. I learned from their experiences and gained inspiration. Public speaking is not just about the individual. It's about the community we build together. As I look to the future, I am excited about continuing my public speaking journey. I want to keep challenging myself and sharing my story. I believe that everyone has a voice, and we all have stories worth telling. If you are considering public speaking, I encourage you to take that step. Join a group, find opportunities to practice, and embrace the journey. You may discover that you too can enjoy the magic of connecting with others through your words. In conclusion, public speaking transformed my life. It helped me grow, connect, and inspire others. I encourage you to explore this path, embrace the fear, celebrate the victories, and share your voice with the world. Thank you for being part of my journey. Let's continue to support each other as we learn and grow together. Learning a new language is not just about words and grammar. It's also about feelings. Many people feel nervous when they learn something new. I felt this way too. One big feeling was fear. Fear of judgment can be paralyzing. When I first started speaking English, I often felt scared. I worried about what people would think of me. Would they laugh at my mistakes? Would they think I was silly? These thoughts made me hesitate to speak. I remember one time I was in a group conversation. I wanted to share my opinion, but I was afraid. I thought, what if I say something wrong? This fear can stop us from trying. It can make us feel stuck, like we can't move forward. Self-doubt is when you question your abilities. I often doubted myself. I thought, am I good enough to speak English? I felt like I was not making progress. Every mistake felt like a failure. Have you ever felt this way? It can be really tough. Sometimes I would practice speaking at home, but then I would feel nervous when it was time to speak in front of others. Learning a new language means making mistakes. I remember a funny moment when I mixed up words. I wanted to say I was excited about something, but I accidentally said I was exhausted. Everyone laughed. I felt embarrassed, but later I laughed too. These moments are awkward but memorable. They teach us lessons we will never forget. Every mistake is a chance to learn. At first, I didn't like making mistakes. I wanted to be perfect. But then I realized that mistakes are part of learning. They help us grow. When I made a mistake, I started to ask myself, what can I learn from this? Instead of feeling bad, I began to see mistakes as opportunities. If I used a word incorrectly, I would look it up and learn the right way to use it. Every mistake I made became a stepping stone on my journey. A stepping stone is something that helps you move forward. For example, if I struggled with a pronunciation, I would practice that word until I got it right. This practice made me stronger. I learned to keep going even when it was hard. I realized that every slip-up was a chance to improve. Over time, I changed my perspective on fear. Instead of seeing it as something bad, I began to view fear as a teacher. Fear can guide us. It can show us what we need to work on. When I felt afraid to speak, I would remind myself that it was normal. Many people feel the same way. This realization helped me relax. I learned that fear can be a sign that I was growing. As I faced my fears, I started to build resilience. Resilience is the ability to bounce back after challenges. I learned to be strong even when things were tough. If I made a mistake, I would tell myself, "That's okay. I can try again." Each time I faced my fear, I felt more confident. I discovered that I could handle difficult situations. This made me feel proud of myself. I also found emotional support from friends and fellow learners. Sharing my fears with others helped me feel less alone. Many of them had similar experiences. They understood how I felt. We encouraged each other to keep going. When someone else shared their fears, I realized I was not the only one. We all face challenges when learning. This support made our journey easier. I learned to create a positive mindset. This means thinking positively about my abilities. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," I started saying, "I can learn." This change in thinking made a big difference. Every day, I would remind myself of my progress. I kept a journal to track my achievements. Writing down my victories, big or small, helped me focus on the positive. As I learned to embrace my emotions, I found joy in the journey. Learning English was no longer just about speaking correctly. It became an adventure. I enjoyed meeting new people and sharing stories. I discovered that laughter is a great way to learn. When I made a mistake, instead of feeling embarrassed, I laughed about it. Humor helped me relax and connect with others. To overcome my fear of speaking, I set small goals for myself. For example, I decided to speak in front of a small group of friends. This was less intimidating than speaking in front of many people. Once I achieved that goal, I felt proud. It motivated me to take on bigger challenges. I gradually increased my goals until I was comfortable speaking in larger groups. Practice became a key part of my journey. The more I practiced, the less fearful I felt. I practiced speaking with friends, teachers, and even strangers. Each conversation helped me gain confidence. I also practiced deep breathing before speaking. This helped calm my nerves. I would take a few deep breaths, close my eyes, and remind myself that it was okay to be nervous. As I reflect on my journey, I see how far I have come. I started from a place of fear and self-doubt. Now I embrace my mistakes and see fear as a teacher. Learning a language is not just about the words. It's about the emotions we feel along the way. I learned to be kind to myself and to celebrate my progress. Now, I want to inspire others to face their fears. If you are learning a new language, remember that it's okay to feel scared. It's part of the process. Embrace your mistakes and don't be afraid to share your journey with others. You are not alone in this. Everyone has faced challenges while learning. Together we can support each other and celebrate our victories. In conclusion, the emotional side of learning is very important. Fear and self-doubt are common feelings, but we can learn to embrace them. Each mistake is a chance to grow. Fear can be our teacher, guiding us on our journey. As we learn to face our emotions, we become stronger and more resilient. Let's celebrate our journeys and support each other as we continue to learn and grow. Every milestone was worth celebrating. When I think about my journey, I realize how important it is to celebrate every little victory. Each time I achieved something new, it made me feel happy and proud. These moments helped me believe in myself more and more. One of my first big milestones was ordering a meal by myself. At first, this felt really scary. I remember going to a small cafe. The smell of fresh coffee filled the air. The menu was full of delicious options. I looked at it, and my heart raced. What if I said the wrong thing? What if I forgot the words? But then I took a deep breath. I thought about all my practice. I had learned how to order food, and I was ready. When it was my turn, I spoke clearly. "I would like a sandwich and a coffee, please." To my surprise, the waiter smiled and said, "Sure, coming right up." I felt a rush of joy. I did it. I ordered my meal without any hesitation. This moment was small, but it meant a lot to me. It showed that I was making progress. It was a victory worth celebrating. As I continued my journey, I faced even bigger challenges. One of those challenges was giving a speech. Speaking in front of a group of people can be very scary. I remember preparing for my first speech. I practiced in front of a mirror. I wrote down my ideas and made sure I knew what to say. When the day finally came, I felt nervous. My hands were a little shaky, and my heart was beating fast. But I reminded myself of all my practice. I took a deep breath and walked to the front of the room. When I started speaking, something amazing happened. I found my rhythm. The words flowed out of my mouth, and I saw people listening. When I finished, the room filled with applause. People clapped for me. I felt a huge wave of happiness wash over me. This was another milestone worth celebrating. It showed me that I could overcome my fears. Each of these moments, ordering a meal and giving a speech, reinforced my belief in myself. They reminded me that I was capable of more than I thought. Every small victory made me stronger. When we achieve something, it gives us confidence. It helps us believe that we can do even more. I learned that celebrating these moments is important. It helps us see how far we have come. Now, I want you to think. What milestones have you reached in your own journey? Maybe you learned a new word, or you spoke with someone in English for the first time. Each small step is important. Take a moment to reflect. What made you feel proud? What challenges did you overcome? Remember, every victory counts. It doesn't matter how big or small it is. What matters is that you took a step forward. To help me remember my victories, I started keeping a journal. A journal is like a diary where you write your thoughts and experiences. It became a special place for me to celebrate my achievements. Every time I reached a milestone, I would write it down. For example, I would write, "Today I ordered food in English," or "I gave my first speech and people clapped." Writing these moments made them feel even more real. As I filled my journal with experiences, I felt more motivated. Each page was like a reminder of my journey. I could see my progress over time. On days when I felt down or frustrated, I would read my journal. It reminded me of how much I had accomplished. Seeing my victories written down made me feel proud. It motivated me to keep going. I realized that I was growing and improving. This encouragement was important during difficult times. I learned that every small victory is a step forward. It doesn't matter how small it is. It all adds up. Whether it's learning a new word or having a short conversation, each step helps us grow. When we celebrate these small victories, we build a positive mindset. A positive mindset helps us stay motivated. It makes us want to keep learning and trying. I also started sharing my milestones with friends and family. When I told them about my victories, they would celebrate with me. This made my achievements feel even more special. For example, after I gave my speech, I called my best friend. I told her how it went and how happy I was. She cheered for me and said, "I knew you could do it." This support made me feel great. When we share our milestones, it creates a sense of community. It helps us connect with others who are also learning. We can support each other and celebrate our victories together. Once I celebrated a milestone, I would set new goals for myself. Celebrating is important, but we also need to keep moving forward. After ordering my meal, I thought, what's next? I wanted to practice speaking more often. After giving my speech, I set a goal to speak at another event. Each celebration became a stepping stone to the next challenge. This helped me stay focused on my learning journey. I also learned to embrace the entire process of learning. It's not just about the end goal. It's about the journey. Every step we take is part of the experience. Sometimes we might stumble or feel frustrated. That's okay. It's normal. What matters is that we keep trying. Each time we learn something new, we are growing. Patience is key in this journey. Learning a language takes time. We won't become fluent overnight. It's a process that requires practice and dedication. As I celebrated my milestones, I also learned to be patient with myself. I realized that every step, no matter how small, was important. I learned to enjoy the journey instead of rushing to the finish line. As I continued my journey, I started finding joy in the little things. Sometimes, it was a simple conversation with a stranger. Other times, it was reading a book in English. Finding joy in these moments made learning fun. It reminded me that every experience is valuable. We can learn so much from everyday interactions. I also created a support system with fellow learners. We would celebrate each other's milestones. When one of us achieved something, we would cheer for them. This support helped us stay motivated. We shared tips and encouraged each other to keep going. Knowing that others were on the same journey made it easier to overcome challenges. As I reflect on my journey, I feel grateful for every milestone. Each one has shaped who I am today. I have grown in ways I never imagined. I've learned that celebrating milestones is crucial for building confidence. It reminds us of our progress and motivates us to keep pushing forward. Now, I want to encourage you to celebrate your milestones. No matter how small they may seem, they are important. Take time to reflect on your journey. Write down your achievements and share them with others. Celebrate your progress and keep setting new goals. Remember, every victory is a step forward in your learning journey. In conclusion, celebrating milestones is a powerful part of learning. Each small victory reinforces our belief in ourselves. It helps us stay motivated and encourages us to keep going. So let's embrace the journey together. Let's celebrate our achievements, support each other, and continue growing. Every step counts, and every moment is worth celebrating. Looking to the future, an ongoing journey. Now, as I look to the future, I realize that my journey of learning English is not over. In fact, it is ongoing. This journey will continue for a long time. Language is a living thing. It is always changing and growing, just like we do. Every day, new words are created. People find new ways to express their thoughts and feelings. As we learn, we also evolve. We become better speakers, listeners, and communicators. This is one of the beautiful things about language. It never stays the same. It changes with us. I think about how much I have learned so far. I have gone from being quiet and unsure to speaking with confidence. But I know there is still more to learn. Each day offers a new chance to grow. So, what's next for me? The possibilities are endless. I feel excited about the future. I have many dreams and goals that I want to achieve. First, I want to travel. Traveling is one of my biggest dreams. There are so many places to see and explore. I want to visit different countries and experience their cultures. When we travel, we learn about the world. We see how people live, eat, and communicate. It opens our minds and hearts. I want to visit places where English is spoken, like the United States, Canada, and Australia. In each country, I hope to meet new people. I want to practice my English with them. Speaking with native speakers will help me improve my skills even more. It will also give me the chance to learn about their stories and experiences. Connecting with diverse cultures is another goal of mine. Every culture has its own unique way of life. I want to understand and appreciate these differences. When we learn about other cultures, we become more open-minded. We learn to see the world from different perspectives. This helps us grow as individuals. I am eager to learn about traditions, foods, and customs from around the world. I want to attend cultural events and festivals. These experiences will help me connect with others and build friendships. Language is a bridge that connects us. Through communication, we can share our stories and learn from each other. I also want to continue enhancing my English skills. Learning a language is a lifelong journey. There is always something new to discover. I plan to read more books in English. Reading helps improve vocabulary and understanding. I will explore different genres like fiction, nonfiction, and poetry. Each book will take me on a new adventure. Listening to podcasts and watching movies in English will also help me learn. I want to hear different accents and ways of speaking. This will improve my listening skills and make me a more confident speaker. As I think about my future, I will set new goals for myself. Setting goals is important for growth. They give us direction and help us stay focused. Some of my goals include joining more language exchange groups. These groups provide great opportunities to practice speaking. I want to engage in conversations with others and learn from their experiences. I also want to attend workshops or classes. These will help me improve my grammar, pronunciation, and writing skills. With each new skill, I will feel more confident in my abilities. My ultimate goal is to inspire others to pursue their language journeys too. I want to share my experiences and encourage others to keep going. Learning a language can be challenging. It takes time and effort. But I want others to know that it is possible. With dedication and practice, anyone can learn to communicate effectively. I hope to create a supportive community where we can all share our stories. We can celebrate each other's achievements and motivate one another. Together, we can create a positive environment for learning. As I reflect on my journey, I feel grateful for the experiences I have had. Each step has taught me valuable lessons. I have learned to embrace my fears, celebrate my victories, and keep pushing forward. I realize that learning is not just about the end goal. It is about the process. Every moment spent learning is valuable. The struggles and triumphs shape who we are and who we will become. I also understand the power of perseverance. There will be challenges along the way. There may be days when I feel stuck or frustrated. But I will remember to stay patient and keep trying. Every effort counts. Even small steps lead to big changes. I have seen my progress, and I know that with perseverance, I can achieve my dreams. My journey of learning English is a lifelong adventure. I look forward to all the new experiences that await me. I want to continue learning and growing as a person. As I travel, connect with others, and enhance my skills, I will carry my passion for language with me. This passion will guide me as I explore the world and discover new opportunities. Now, I want to encourage you to start or continue your own language journey. Embrace every moment. Celebrate your achievements, no matter how small they may seem. Remember, it is a journey, not a race. You have the power to create your own path. Set your goals and work towards them. Each step you take will lead you to new opportunities and experiences. In conclusion, the future is bright for me and for anyone on a language journey. There are endless possibilities ahead. Let's embrace the ongoing process of learning together. Let's travel, connect with diverse cultures, enhance our skills, and inspire one another. Every moment is an opportunity to grow. I am excited about what the future holds, and I hope you are too. Conclusion: my journey and yours. In conclusion, my name is Jessica. I am a student learning English in London. My journey has been long and full of many different experiences. I started from a place of silence, not knowing how to speak English. But now, I can communicate with confidence. This journey from silence to speech has been filled with challenges and triumphs. Each challenge taught me something new, and each triumph made me feel proud. Every step I took was important. There were times when I felt scared or unsure. I remember feeling nervous when I tried to speak in front of others. I was afraid of making mistakes. But I learned that making mistakes is a part of learning. Each mistake was a chance to grow. It helped me improve my skills. I also faced moments of doubt. Sometimes I thought I would never be good at English, but I kept trying. Every time I practiced, I became a little better. I celebrated my small victories, like ordering food in English or having a short conversation. These moments made me realize that I was making progress. All these experiences shaped who I am today. I am more confident and capable. I learned to embrace my silence and use it to observe and think. I built a strong foundation by learning vocabulary and practicing daily. I engaged in conversations that helped me connect with others. I faced my fears and learned to speak in public. I celebrated my milestones, no matter how small. These steps have been beautiful. Each one was like a piece of a puzzle, helping me see the whole picture. I am proud of how far I have come. But my journey is not finished. I will continue to learn and grow every day. If you are on your own language journey, I want to share some advice. Remember to embrace the silence. It is okay to start slowly. Use that time to think and observe. Silence can be a powerful tool. Next, build your foundation. Learn basic words and phrases. Practice every day, even if it is just for a few minutes. Use apps, flashcards, or talk to yourself in the mirror. Each new word is a small victory that will help you grow. Engage in conversation with others. Don't be afraid to speak. The more you practice, the more confident you will become. Join language exchange groups or find friends to talk to in English. These conversations will help you learn context and rhythm. Face your fears. Everyone feels scared sometimes, but do not let fear stop you. Remember that mistakes are part of learning. Each slip-up is a chance to improve. Embrace those moments and learn from them. Celebrate your milestones. Every achievement is worth recognizing. Whether it is a big speech or a small conversation, take time to enjoy your progress. Keep a journal to track your journey. Write down your experiences and celebrate your victories. Most importantly, keep learning. Language is a journey that never ends. There is always more to discover. Read books, listen to podcasts, and watch movies in English. These activities will help you improve your skills. Stay curious and open-minded. Explore new topics and ideas. Engage with different cultures and perspectives. Every new experience will help you grow as a person and a language learner. The journey of learning a language is beautiful. It connects us with others and opens doors to new experiences. Every step counts, no matter how small. Each effort you make brings you closer to your goals. Thank you for joining me today on this journey. I hope my story has inspired you to embrace your own path. Remember, you are not alone. We are all learning and growing together. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Your support means a lot to me. I also want to hear from you. Share your own experiences in the comments below. What challenges have you faced? What milestones have you celebrated? Let's create a community where we can encourage each other. Together, we can learn, grow, and succeed. Let's continue this journey together. Thank you for being here with me today. I am excited about the future, and I hope you are too.